104.3 FM Suni. Aha, ebusia ma munyina adwo na yedamase so say anwumre yi mode afide na to a utie dwumade afa na the platform. Yatanse anwumre ye ba badwendwen oman Ghana ho. Efremi na ya Kesseh, obetia fremi the cardinal. Me ma munyina afishapa. Kan sa motiase. Roman for the Anglican for them kan sa motiase yi. Afishapa kire se na ye enso ukuada na Ash Wednesday. Na Ash Wednesday enti senate bia no esese ususu unya ash ne bi na they start Wednesday no na this Ash Wednesday asha asia 40 days of fasting ase na yasha asia nei echina nyame yadoma mache no num mpam 5:30 am ekoka no nsia 6 mene Reverend Father Francis na wo boafo ebetwetwe nkomode afa ehon akomchene emremu ene nia ewomu de ntia Catholic asore no eye nsa enti achana no pa no numpa mu Asia United Television na yentwetwe nkomo emfa lent ho na adesuade wom bebre edema obia tia na wahia yen ewo Live Truth Live Catholic Jumadie so ewo United Television 5:30 am na yenkyerechire lenti emu Patricia Fada na wo say yen kan kire wo say so wan koje ash ne na ash ne say Ash Wednesday yan ka say Ash Sunday as a good wanko Patricia Sefa Fisher wanko Father se men kan kire mo say eye Ash Wednesday yan ka say Ash Sunday somebody as here Ash Wednesday yan ka say Ash Sunday it na Ash Wednesday na say ukọ na ukọkọje wonso me say mentimi anko Our Lady of Assumption and amendment me anko St. Silvanus mentimi so anko ba bia mekọ sorry Holy Trinity Catholic Church adwuma 70 but anwumre mekọ St. Paul's ewo kpehe mekọ St. Paul's ewo kpehe Very Reverend Father Kesseh ono ena odi somnanim ono na di somnanim kama nti makoje me de me de ndie me hwate ma menya me de Ash Wednesday me ntese Patricia ne Isaac de ombeje Ash Sunday enye Ash Wednesday na me ka Father Michael se kwesi ana mo obia Ash next year ombeba abeje omudie anyway just to remind you say Lenten season no na yasha ase no yema bebre ebesesa ene me ba Emmanuel Kesseh but I see him friend Reverend Father Emmanuel auntie Reverend Father Emmanuel Kesseh ene birthday enti happy birthday ima nyame nhyiraw na enyini be de da wakoma so opese wo ye nyankopon ema onyansa na oma onimdie na de opese obeye wasase we su bia no erade ma emremu emfa ema enti Reginald Mamaga and your mom Joyce and ebusuafo ni nyina se omo ema happy birthday Emmanuel and I say Dennis Miracle Aboaje ena afei Anthony Nukpenu omumienu ena atenase a enanwumre yi me no omo betwetwe nkomo ena asem titrem yenu na dapon so NDC the krata akoma Commonwealth say omuntie omasem na omunka bi ma wo na amaman kamasem ya de na wo NDC petition ye ba making kan bi a kire mo na abohunie ma ewom afei minim ba bi asade ne firi ba ye de nanso nanse suban bi ya bagana fo binum so obie na no a ose Coup obie na no a ose Coup ena se soja fo anye se ne mia me ye Coup we ba ose Coup we ba na Coup ya de di agro ya de bon training well ene ne ba be ka ho asem ene enwumre but before that yentie NDC Amanyukon General Secretary Johnson Asiedu nkete agena mosquito nensemo a okaye ede efa enyina so a entia mo de omasem akodan Commonwealth no entie
yewe Ghana ya na montuo be emfie num ya akoye se eniema bebre wo ho a Commonwealth no chiri nanso ɛno a na yɛn de akokoduro yɛ no wɔ yɛ kurom ha enti yɛne a ɔmo yɛtia yɛn no ɛbrɛ aso sɛ yɛtumi ɛkɔbɔ amanneɛ wɔ Commonwealth hɔ sɛ sɛ woyam ka wo na wamfee wo se a obiara hu sɛ woyare ɛno nti yɛfee yɛse ɛyɛ atɛntrene abɔyɛ sɛ dwonsɔ ɛbɔ akokɔ Afrobarometer survey ɛyɛ no wɔ man mu no woyi ɔha biara emu adu ɔtwe nan aka sɛ wɔn nsusu sɛ ɔman atemmu adwuma no wɔn ani afa sɛ gyidie ɛkɔ fam wɔ ɔman atemmu adwuma mu a etimi ma yɛ democracy no ɛhwi fam. Dr. Opuni ɛne Sedu Agongo aban akyi wɔn sɛ wɔn afɔ mmara ɛnyɛ adeɛ a ɛha NDC foɔ kwan biara so yɛde saa asɛm yi akyi de akɔ akɔdu Supreme Court koraa transi ehunu sɛ aban mpɛgye gye foforɔ na wɔntena asɛm na aban na nkasa se mintie da yɛkum social media activists besi nnɛ deɛ yɛte firi ho emu a ne sɛ kaka no a yɛaboro no akunu no ɔno ne nua mmom yɛakɔkye no kɔɔto koraa yɛmfa no nkɔ sɛ woyɛ kaka maame yɛabɔ wo ba baako akunu na wo ba baako ɔbɛboa so yɛabɛkye no wɔabrɛ adansefo a ɛwɔ hɔ nyinaa nim deɛ siiɛ ɛbɛyɛ wo dɛ for preaching about coup d'etat or whatever, that person must be sent to the appropriate court. Government knowingly will always present him to the wrong court, which has no power to grant him bail. And he's still languishing in police cells. We think that this is not the standard of good governance that Commonwealth practices. Yɛhwɛ Ghana yanamontuo ebe emfie numu ya. Akwaye sɛ nneɛma bebree wɔ hɔ a Commonwealth no kyiri nanso ɛno a na yɛn de akokoduro yɛ no wɔ yɛ kurom ha enti yɛne a ɔmo yɛtia yɛn no ɛbrɛ aso sɛ yɛtumi ɛkɔbɔ amanneɛ wɔ Commonwealth hɔ sɛ sɛ woyam ka wo na wamfee wo se a obiara hu sɛ woyare ɛno nti yɛfee yɛse ɛyɛ atɛntrene abɔyɛ sɛ dwonsɔ ɛbɔ akokɔ Afrobarometer survey ɛyɛ no wɔ man mu no woyi ɔha biara emu adu ɔtwe nan aka sɛ wɔn nsusu sɛ ɔman atemmu adwuma no wɔn ani afa sɛ gyidie ɛkɔ fam wɔ ɔman atemmu adwuma mu a etimi ma yɛ democracy no ɛhwi fam.
Na asɛm wei na aban lawyer penny ɔyɛ soafo a ɔhwɛ atɛntrene nsɛm so Godfred yɛbo adame nso kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ ne nwanwa sɛ NDC foɔ kasa nsɛm a ɔmo kan.
Suppose my reaction is that I find it as a very hypocritical and misleading statement. Very hypocritical and misleading because clearly, for me, it's an attempt to run away from justice. All the government has sought to do is to ensure that the NDC and the acts of its officers are brought to book. And indeed, I will not be deterred at all in my quest to ensure that there's accountability for the people of Ghana. The cases that we have investigated and the actions that we have filed in court are all on account of solid evidence that we have unearthed through painstaking investigations. We do not just come to court on the spur of the moment or without any basis at all. It is as a result of thorough and painstaking investigations conducted by the government. Some of the investigations have actually gone on for about 5 or 6 years. And indeed, we are seeing the results of the action. And therefore, I find it very hypocritical and misleading for the NDC or General Secretary to make such an allegation. And I'm not surprised. This is actually not the first time that the NDC or a person associated with the NDC has sought to find refuge in the international forum, especially when the person is being brought to book or accountability is being sought for the actions of that person. I can cite the instance of Alfred Boyome. You were in this court, you followed proceedings in the court, you saw how Alfred Boyome sought refuge in the African Court of Human Rights, alleging bias on the part of the Supreme Court of Ghana. The African Court of Human Rights stated in no uncertain terms that his action was without any basis at all and that the Supreme Court of Ghana was right in enforcing the laws of Ghana. We may actually pursue the matter on a review. The review panel of the African Court of Human Rights unanimously dismissed his review application. So I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I think that all these recourse to foreign tribunals and all are a ruse. They are a ruse to avoid the NDC from facing justice. And I am saying that no amount of distraction will deter me from ensuring that justice is sought for the people of Ghana. Look at the facts of the Atufosi matter. The facts show clearly that no parliamentary approval whatsoever was sought for the for the transaction involving Big C. Big C is a foreign entity, and we all know under Article 181 clause 5 of the Constitution, any foreign international business transaction must be in accordance with the approval of Parliament. There was no approval by Parliament, and indeed the facts also show that all the necessary relevant agreements governing the transaction were violated. And so if as a result of that, there's also financial loss to the state, how can it be wrong for a criminal action to be mounted against them? And I think that rather than resorting to all these shenanigans, they ought to properly put their house in order, mount a credible defense to the action. The defense must be mounted in the court and not in the court of public opinion.
Abayin lawyer Penny Godfred Yabo Adame and what's in Kano, Nianwa de Maya, Efa NDC Jina, West so there are some no air Commonwealth no, and no. Now, Osha NDC Grata no Muchono say the Secretary General, Commonwealth Secretariat, Marlborough House, Paul Moore, St. James in London, XW1Y5HX, United Kingdom, Your Excellency. Petition against human rights violations, criminal persecutions, and harassment of members of the National Democratic Congress by the government of Ghana. Me bok kakra bi so kiremo na fe yekoyenim or say the National Democratic Congress wish to bring to the attention of the Secretary General of Commonwealth of Nations various acts of human rights violations, criminal persecution and harassment of members and supporters of the government of Ghana headed by His Excellency President Coup, and calls upon the Secretary General of the Commonwealth Nations to advise and encourage the government of Ghana to desist from acts that threaten Ghana's peace and stability or security. Over point 4, or say, His Excellency, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was elected the President of Ghana in 2016 and re-elected to serve a second term in office in 2020 December. As the presidential candidate of the MPP before the 2016 general elections, then candidate Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo preached violence and mayhem if he did not win the 2016 presidential elections. Since assuming the reins of power in 2016, the message of physical violence against political opponents that President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo preached and championed before the 2016 general elections has turned into structural, institutional, systematic forms of violence in the form of human rights violations, harassment, political persecutions against members of the NDC. Significantly, okay, Otuasuba from Kakra point 5 or say, the image of the judiciary has been further dented by the delivery of unreasoned court judgments, which read more like partisan or polemical pieces than learned judicial reasoning consistent with judicial standards in the legal system of common law countries. In one such court opinion, a judge presiding over a criminal trial involving the prosecution of a member of the NDC simply ruled that the application has been brought in bad faith and dismissed it without more. Back on. Over point number 9. And that has to do with Dr. Stephen Opuni. Or say, what is more worrying is that the trial of Dr. Stephen Opuni increasingly looks like a political show trial than a genuine attempt at ensuring accountability of public officers. And you see Opuni hono baby hano pa no. And now wabubo Opuni case no. Page 54, page 55, page 54, third paragraph, and then 59. And there are supporting asema oka and what they paragraph 12 so ababeka home say. Same way nyina ya commenter Justice mame pese me bonidino in full. Justice Clemens Jackson Honyenuga JSC wakika ya chere say papa no way bias. O share point number 12 or say aside the above prejudicial statement, Mr. Justice Clemens Jackson Honyenuga in his ruling on the submission of no case to answer on his own rejected 18 exhibits 59, 58, 59, 60, 61 up to 75 and with that were favorable to the case of Dr. Stephen Kwabena Upuni, while retaining the record of the case, similar exhibits that had been tendered in similar circumstances that were favorable to the case of the prosecution. So, Kesseh, cases no baby a boa exhibit on the by a boa Dr. Upuni de NDA or say Opanaji. Now on that justice of the Supreme Court, or say Papa no call political rally ase. Ewa ha baby you me pacho mama men kan horoma why na man ka say bia ya akase na mebu mitiri maka bibi mesrew aha o say Kwabena Upuni aha eni agriculture oni Seidu Agongo aha o say point 10 a key figure in this political show trial has been the presiding judge, Mr. Justice Clemens Jackson Honyanuga, whose conduct breaches established principles of judicial composure and commitment. In February 2020, Mr. Justice Clemens Jackson Honyanuga, the presiding judge, who is also the paramount chief of Nyagbo in the Volta region of Ghana, called on his people at Edeba to vote for President Akufo-Addo in the 2020 presidential elections. This is a flagrant breach of Article 276 of the Ghana's constitution, which prohibits chiefs from taking part in active party politics. An application for Mr. Justice Clemens Jackson Honyanuga to recuse himself from hearing of the case came to naught. And also Yabako. Nti okani nyina wie na odeba be wie wo Samuel Ofosu Ampofo asemno so. Na hano na general emma narrative bi ana de pa ba nan kampese o wie enso wanwie o start ye say Ghana kokoye by election bi awa ya so West Wuogon. It was say following the ya so West Wuogon by election violence, the state set up a commission of inquiry that made adverse findings against certain state officials, which recommendations the government has blatantly refused to implement. Chairman Samuel Ofosu Ampofo met a group of the party's communicators to agree on a communication strategy for the NDC following the withdrawal of the party from the by-elections. One or this year. And about point 17, the conduct of government. Kanan Campesu, we Ofosu Ampofo, but when we wana mame. General, what the meka, I saw one church to me, I'm a tiasi pa, me ana more fano. Enti, oka semni nyina wia the obaba be we say or say the immediate reaction of the government to this opposition has been, that is the opposition of the lawyers for Dr. Stephen Upuni against the presiding judge, that is Justice Clemens Honyanuga JSC. Say otia seven so Dr. Upuni lawyer for so mom preso and okoye tihani you. The immediate reaction of the government to this opposition has been the harassment, prosecution, or threatened prosecution of members of parliament of the NDC, who have been at the forefront of the NDC's opposition to the e-levy. I had also say about Atoforcing, Dr. Kesseh, Atoforcing. I say Atoforcing, the entire Abantata forcing Yan say, Papa no, on pay e-levy. Na otan e-levy entina no enti NDC krata no nsem no ne tofa bomu a wo sheda kansam titiro miensa de ka ye Dr. Stephen Upuni Seidu Agongo and Oka Ofosu Ampofo ne Kwaku Boahen and a general atmosphere say ye tieti amanfo fa hodie so e wo Ghana na me ka kire mo say na say suban bia bani pa binom so obie na no a esese kusie and at the ye Ghana is ripe for coup. Sa someone himself ye ka say vomawo otwrim yes coup nsensem bia na meba vomawo asem no so biom. But before I do that, the person me bobo niam ba ko mienu bi so e kire mo onim say and paper no ba ko publish say Dr. Frederick McPalm e can say admission or any nyina some okeka kai nyina okan under duress said na mot anopan moti also okan under duress. In fact okan say me paper no me wo ha me na maka paper crowd ya kire mo eno de asem nim say 2019 asem Now fast forward to February 12, 2022. And on Oliver Mouse Baka Vomawo on Susone Diano Eba and there's someone in Mudada Yankari. And right Professor Raymond Atuguba Ekoma lecture Ewo from saying Solidaire Ghana Anna Solidaire Governance Forum I say Ena Okoki Kankanen Samoa Emuba Akone say we do not want a coup in this country, yet I fear that if we do not act quickly, we may have one on our hands very soon. Hey. Anyway, Isaac, my NT prof.
We do not want a coup in this country, yet I fear that if we do not act quickly, we may have one in our hands very soon. A former colleague, doctoral student at Harvard, wrote his dissertation also on Ghana. He now teaches at a war college in the US. Imagine the name of the college, War College. Whilst my topic was on the Ghana police, his topic was on the Ghana military. Naturally, our paths intersected and we have remained friends since. My friend's PhD thesis was on the topic, quote, why certain coups succeed and why others fail. His case study was Ghana. My current assessment that Ghana may be ripe for a coup partly springs from the knowledge I gained from accompanying my friend through part of his doctoral research on this topic. It does not help matters if we consider Samuel Huntington's thesis on the snowballing effect of coups in the sub-region and the closeness of recent coups to whom. I urge my good friend, the Minister of National Security, Honorable Kandapa, to have a conversation with my friend at the War College. The economy of Ghana today. A big part of why certain coups succeed and others fail is the economy. What is the state of Ghana's economy today? At the level of the most irreducible idiomaticity, Ghana is broke. Your nation is radically broke. So broke, the Speaker of Parliament has publicly warned, gavel in hand, that we may not be able to pay the salaries of public sector workers in some 3 months unless a miracle happens. The Minister for Finance has weighed in very fine and polished English. He says something like, quote, the legitimate reality is that there is no money, unquote. At least he has confessed to us that there are some illegitimate realities.
Na ya odi enti amaku no bi adwuma won so de enti a ema ebi nso so enye adwuma na wom so obi ampeku de so hwehwe niam bi nso so a ya hwe hu yi a ebia enche kora ibenya baako kind of simple. Solidaire Governance Forum for so ebe kan say Professor Raymond Atuguba no oyomo honorary fellow. Na Professor Raymond Atuguba oye omo honorary fellow no. Na asemo a okan no wanka bone. Mo bia ntata Raymond Atuguba ene ade. Omo executive director Benjamin Esuman. Okan sa asem we wie no. Ena Gabi Ochre Dako enso so eko Twitter so. Na ma force Twitter. Ba ye ifi Mohammed e beka Twitter. Ena ja ono so ko tweet ye. Ono tweet February 28th. As a nansani ne ya na ono e tweet ye. No tweet ya na asem ne sen. O say in fact my men chiro menya specific. O tweet 9:58 p.m. Anajo nonkron apa usima eduonum nwotwe. Ena o tweet ya o say if you are a senior member of an opposition party that can be described as an alternative government, and yet you say that your country is ripe for a coup, what you are really saying is that your party is no better and cannot be expected to fix whatever you see wrong, even if elected. Gabi, ochireda ko de eno no. Na meka se meba voma wo asem no so achire. Na me shada nka bebre bia, me pese me kan bibi e free. Asem ene learned justices of our Supreme Court. Yoni Kulendi, Gertrude Tokonu, and Justice Jones Doche, omo ka kire voma wo ne lawyers. Now I'm saying this because Moka, the last time I've you didn't call. The second time I didn't call Ashaman court no, district court no. Mame Elena Bans Kakrabotri awe etimu for transem so oka asem bi na asem no na anye voma wo there otiatiemu wo court gina court e kan say a kangaroo court Ghana court na ye kangaroo he said that in the courtroom whilst in the dock and okai tie asema Justice Jones Doche ebisa voma wo na lawyer for ne eni or say Supreme Court panel led by Justice Jones Doche on Wednesday questioned why lawyers for Fix the Country movement campaigner Oliver Bakavomawo have failed to make an application for bail at the High Court but rather seek the intervention of the Apex Court. You have an individual's liberty at stake. You embark on this journey to this court. You want us to interpret this constitution in a mixed application. Your duty is to protect your client's rights. Your priorities are mixed. We Justice Yoni Kulendi and Okanwe. Now NTA Justice get to Tokonu, Justice of the Supreme Court. Or say, is this the time for this intellectual exercise? Should you not be taking a pragmatic approach? Where Justice Tokonu and Ubisai. Now the ama asemi nyina akwa akwa asem ne say mokaya ebra edi kan a yede vomawo eko Ashaman district court no temuafo no kan say asem no mo de abre no ono ontimi ndi sa asem no because one only jurisdiction over that matter enti or transit odi sa asem na enye yi enti otu omofo so omfa asem no nko high court ne enko ka asem no wo ho Omuko ye man remand 2 weeks. Remand ni nyina moment me anko high court ho. Na o say we atimafo no ba ko. Muntie de ono so kai. O say make an order of certiorari to issue to the High Court B Tema to bring up to this honorable court to have quashed its ruling dated 17 February, which was given under the hands of His Lordship Justice Daniel Mensah, refusing to issue a writ of habeas corpus. And what was Kabisia? We are no about the country, I will say. Obisa, former lawyer for say, at the in a high court, hono, mom pesamobeko. Because Munim Zamana, they are 2 munipanosono, a bailable. But court was a moko pay bail at the many panel. And yet a district court, name a high court and a sesamoko. I didn't in a monko. Namoba be invoke jurisdiction of the Supreme Court or interpret the constitution on Femamo. At the end of court to a mompesamboko. Oh, say, Nano, I may voma way, and voma a nice brainy guy, me panasem, but a shame man say, ah, and this out there, why are dear Crana say? Yeah, Mvazebia so my no dear some kana would this a war case, genuine case. Do you go and stand before a judge and tell her say court no a kangaroo court ben found ko lawyer for na futuo ben pa na mo de ma mo client no lawyer for a futuo ben na mo de ma client Supreme Court justices no just as the case of the Tema District Court judge no or sure if they were even leading you the way or chemo baby amobeko amobenya bail amamo client or catch them say the liberties of your client that should be your priority and it is at stake monko high court monko and some more deceive bre you and I said dear am waka kire no say temuafo no what Ashaman district court na empenasem no so akogina court no what tem hey Mr. Tamani August near war judge be a fellow Willie Wise chime on na chime first contempt me a BB me the schoolboy sabre na me wa half mine around 1995 and now I just schoolboy na me watch bi na che ne white na me peche pa che white and the upon school also so na Wednesday na ja borders ye bakurumbe every alpha and na ma sha me che da bi am peges ye bakurumbe ya de ma sha me che na me duro ho no na me se o kwato asem de ya me pepa di me kotie bi and na me che no and I'm sure she me t-shirt na me gina anymore. Me gina wa na post ni na be hukumachi. See, hey, judge some famra. Say me call judge in office ho. No say I didn't na ma checha. But checha me so me ntia say obi sa me say na ma cheche. Because me minimum de kra my. And I'm sure check them peche pa. Generation me no three. I say sa me say me pepper. Me is abre me nim say judge from cry address my lord be any idea. Na me ha me boy there. Me and so I'm the judge know who say me very ignorant about BBA. And no catch them say court down ho. Ye nye dede wo ho. Oba court wa ye nhye chema ho. And as oba court them a untimi metna dem ho kran kan graphic wo ho. Oba dem ho untimi metchoro ote wona wo choro wa abre a unko registrar no ho. Nti Justice Willie Wise Chirebe on na me first lessons in court reporting. And I'm the two meetings. So abre kwa na me nyanko journalism school and I'm the two meetings aba bi sine. Hey, Willie Wise Chirebe nim na okokwa is ade wi. Ka o case na nkasa kra de on kan ka hono a obesite for contempt na nka de obey wa ye wo ho boss momie enye ni you no my way ye say no ayen say mo bia e say mai nyina Dennis Atrase Tony so Atrase the platform kwaku mambro fo kakra na menko
na yo embassy bi e be che ye ka
embassy bay embassy bay
Brazil embassy to Ghana.
Brazil embassy
to Ghana. Brazil embassy to Ghana.
Ambassador to Ghana.
Brazil embassy to Ghana. France embassy to Ghana. French ambassador. French report to hono. Me kura send message akatro mo say e dey san etie.
Kwaku tie kwaku yawo ambassador to but you need embassy to ambassador to Ghana France embassy France ambassador to Ghana me pacho bo mo voice ni bi
mo kan je kwaku bo an say me see me here address na or dey send a message no kokoma a omo no me so me pe na me so ma tworo de akwa nkofo no say embassy bi aba be che ka Dennis
ayo
utinkwa
ejina yiti dase
utinkwa pacho me ba ma me hwe ayi yi wa Isaac Chrobe to me we de wa ya de ba ko so ko drum pa ne de wa papa ba ko se de ese mbo na ba so ma hu so ma me mo ba so nkosi na ma hu on your appointment, not only as a presidential staffer, but also for director for local government decentralization and rural development. Utinkwa.
Ayo, yeye yiti dase. Na yawon nasia dedika informa nyame. So aboy ho ba he so ma ya ho den. Na yesu yetumi de boy man. Na ne Kesseh no so informa omampani nana adodankwa Kufuado. Say utimi hu say yenso ye obibi kakra we mu a ye betumi dia boa no na e da chehye Ghana man ana say ye ton safro say beboa na ye fan chehye wo man a brofo mu ye be say a great honor anwa ho asem because en yo bia netumi nya ho kwan say ye beton safro ne say ombra beboa na ombesom ne man nti yedo mampani ase na yabompa ya se nyankopon hoden ene ne nyansa se yesu yebetumi aye yafemu de na de aboa Ghana man
Dennis Miracle Abwaje ena ote nenkano Anthony Nukpenu a Greater Accra Regional Organizer of the NDC Fonya
Nori
Afonama
Mawa Manrover uhafon
oh Mawa Manrover Tamalagba
akbana mawo
je ga dogo ja ko ejiji
manyo la dukomo tanya
nyawo
radio ji nhofo magala
ogala jurubo
maganya jurunkra
I see Mauli Tony is saying you won't watch it
Boy, they are doing your way and I'm so.
Oh, Kakra.
O may moon some woman and yet dainty be me and Pesse said the new.
So,
That's a Ukasane, you the bonnet near you and once the boss near the roof at the ensign for 20. Ama Obi I share. Emma say the Yakota ma don't go. Ahun brasier so ni kwan so a. Obi beka say o baby amato yi. Me nua mesrew. Me na me kan ba baby amedu yi. Fa che me, bo me. Na yi me film. Ahuma so na say o man nti ye hwem.
Nyame ho ebe ye.
Nyame ne hini.
Nyame ti ase.
Na Dennis, what's the position me na? What does that mean to you?
Sir, we're director for local government, decentralization and rural development.
Me ya be wa no. Omo metia propaganda news ni ngona mutio.
Na position is
good news na yo monte.
And also a governance structure be.
Yo monte. Propaganda ni mango.
Director for local government, rural development and what?
Decentralization.
And also a position me.
Position na dey Dennis no.
Man penya go for the among first creation the onim papa.
Ya mu create ma Rashid Pepo mo ne Edu Asare mo na no na ye dey.
And Rashid Pepo no a minister of state.
And I say no na position me.
Edu Asare was
no position me.
Edu Asare no or yes.
Onim na ban kran so onim de na koso na ban.
Edu Asare no yes.
Onim de na koso na ban. Edu Asare no ye ni fi yes ye ne. Ye pamu ni fi yes ya.
In the position now.
Maybe say question.
The position now kita na na.
Oh, me no ni ya no maybe say say.
But there is you are bigger than among first creation.
Ya shemra. Ye wo presidential act. I am more man penny kwan. At every point in time or they yi Ghana for ene dwumedi opeso mudi. Enti o man penny na mbre bia no. O kire dwumedi obi embedi emfambo no. Say o man penny fro say the proper femukra na fa boa Ghana maya odi ahobrase nebeko
mate
me nka se memwa o me nka se men ko boa ban be we nwan mo create ya na mudi aka egu oman so
oni bibia ka
enti we are sa create
monja so ho na opening Joseph Bimpon Donko na dodo no afre no abreko opening Joseph Bimpon Donko eta afre no abreko enti abusuafo na munim abreko no de se munim se abreko ato anano wonse edo nti monhye den so na nakobo se ode yakọ ema abusuafo ni nya Francis unu nuanum nyina ode yakọ ema mo na nyame ya adom adwoada obi aba beta mochi na modi na otweda yaka ne sei awie enyama mienu a eda pronso ene enwumre aye kan asem medican aka threats of coup d'etat in Ghana and issues are a free mover. Ebisa say what are the real issues? Dear na wo ho. Dear na esi wo Ghana ha. Enti amankofo say ene ya ase coup besi we besi no. Yepese ate ase. And NDC's petition to the Commonwealth Secretariat and non so yepese ehu de ewo mu. Na sansem we mienu na yabono epoa yede eba. Tony muna mo de krata no koma offense Commonwealth Secretariat.
Ampa.
And me pese ehu mo trim popa na adwempo etachiri dien na ye mo Ghana ha nti mo de sa asem na ba na afei Professor Raymond Atuguba na asem a okan ye no because Solidarity Forum a ase na okokan sa asem Professor Atuguba so de say na oye obi a oye onya akola wa NDC amanyukum enti me pese e kan sa issues we mean in the next 10 minutes mpase me tie
yo na me da se me din cha be fa we video so ama Ghana fo amutie eni omo mo hwe wo social media so
okay
na me cha wo so ni Coup eni minua Dennis Miracle Abwaji.
Tell him about your way just a second. 0556 700 700 0556 700 700. Ube to do WhatsApp and now text message afaho. And I feel more share Facebook no so Peace 104.3 Peace 104.3 FM. No. Pacho enko.
Eni chiasuma party mpenyufo a na me no kase omu nyina wo Santimante ma omu ni party for across the 47 constituencies. Ebenya kita hodie from Enakosi Fiada bisanya minshira ni bambo emomu na now we dey me say asembia let me say at the time nyina ya gitum say ya di kabima minke be ejuma asoman no nyina di ensa ko share krate bia ewo English abridge mu a eche say obi biara o di kabima minke be ejuma through the constitution enye through the barrel no ye wo eku a ye friend no Commonwealth of Nations omunyina ebehwe say pepper yo ni tintini atentini ebe ejuma wo aman nyina so ema omumanfo benya gidie wo omu aban mu enti ye di yansasha ase as a member of the Commonwealth and nyama hu drop a bree na na efimba say uwo man mu na say bibi cause na ufo say woman mu unya the right platform to advance your case obetimi di wasem alcohol ye wo enimdiefo akukudanfo ho a asem na odi bae no ommehwe the veracity say ahondi be na wasem no nyina so be na wom be ya asem e so mu di echi eko ye case ma wana so enye say odi wasem ko down keke na omosori a ombehwem and it depends on a lot of anamonto obetu as a cool individual or whatever. And as a political party from 2017 handed over power. So this time no they are finding bebremu in terms of the governance situations the judicial system and the way abina otisunu any year ediafa. And maybe now we've taken it in good faith as a political party because this is not the first time I have opposition. But it do maybe now who say, baby, I say, atintin krano ekosu no muso mu ni ye binum emfa emrana so omudi ye djuma na wo ho kwan se ko seki a higher platform to get redress. Enti enu ho anamontu na NDC through a general secretary yetu and uhwe krata na wangasa wo bi o hono ma on say ye state the various areas ye bunju so ene niama akoso a enu nti a yetu anamono a ye de ne ho evidence abata ho enti ye hwe nim say the organization will look at the substance of the issue ayedi about money ahonde ewum a ebema say ombe di echi say ombe ye hwehwemu ansa na oma ben aban no any the various organs ya cite omu in the petition so they can come out with a verdict yin ebe say ye wo case and any case nti ye de ye da esum anase ye mpaibo eni say nia ye hu nia ye kom nia ye manfo afem enu hu anamo na ye tu and we feel say that is the right platform we want redress of the kind of issues akoso for the past years at the courts before the presidents at the presidency, before the president himself and other areas, we want redress of some of these issues because Ghana's democracy is cited as a beacon of hope for the rest of the countries. Say your constitution, after having a checkered history from 1966 to 1992, I constitution too. Even though maybe I say na enimdiefo anka ho antro edwadefo a carpenter for, but for me my understanding of nimdie obi a onya suen ho na brabo mu nti obi a carpenter ni no otimi e de na adwimba na de cho constitution obi a tomatoes otomuntuma and others omutimi na di cheba na church constitution na timi di 30 years plus then it shows say every now and then no say timi cause ankrofo no hokọ nya adwenkyerɛ emfem bu ye man because the constitutions are yenya lawyer for akuku dam ne a doctor for ni the so-called intellectual class roy no it never lived the test of time asoja for too good and nia yesi yenya nimdie for antro no omumum ye dia no yetimi ayedwuma be si ene nyina yetimi ka say we need a review ye pese baby mu yensesa. That is the beauty of democracy and bibi man bebre na no esua ye enti se ne anamontuo bi mu ni ye bi mu ebeto chima ema people will not have hope in the kind of roadmap ayenya na we all need to guard against it. The person this constitution should live and live forever for our unborn generations babenya ho enti ye nyina ye say Ghana benya fapim Ghana benya fa hodie no matter the kind of situation you be find yourself, be it economic, security, whatever. Man for benya ebe femu no ye di yanu beka ye be che ya adwin but will not temper with the kind of democracy we have. We will always guard against any form of violence in subverting the constitution and go through the ballot to change leadership. That is the hope as many of us and many Ghanaians have for this constitution. And for that matter, no, say nyame bi mu koso na efo say enye ebetimi di sebi bodam ahye obi adwimu obeye nia ensem fatana. We need to speak against it now. E say 2-1 amo ene, and that is the step ayen as a political party ye take. And we believe we have a case. We are looking forward for the Commonwealth Secretariat to determine the facts and the merits of the petitioner before them, and we will see the end result.
Okay. Me have 2 quick questions and sana makode so. Enti die na mo pese se Commonwealth Secretariat tie mo asem ni nyina omonya den.
One man catch you say. We do petition ko omo substance of the aba. Ahondi benewo. Now they have recommendations that they always make to the nation that a kono an individual no efrim say nia ewe charter muni nia muman for asite say yede yomo a omo bu njusu ni omo be take response from whatever areas are on my society. Based on that, the charter will determine whether there is fairness or there is no fairness. And then a way forward is struck. Are you getting me? Etienne say opuni any hunyanu guardian I society no. Baby a judicial lacuna say opuni di asem akoda court no ye di opuni akokot ye di na asem judge odi na asem wetu anamo abcd opuni bu anjuso opuni di akọ an apex court no determine the first verdict in favor of opuni AG echo review ye the other judges etna so omu teni verdict no the applicants feel say there have been an injustice on his part. So all these things, there are a way of looking at what the merits are. 2, say, a member of parliament, he didn't call down court, out here AG now, or see international transaction, and unti, or anchor parliament. But currently, as we speak, on one health minister, I go through an international transaction without parliamentary approval. Why admit of parliament? And there, AG no finding prudent. But a case that a deputy minister, who on instruction of his minister, you are hauling him before court without any substantive merit. But it's before a court. But steps now AG taking in going to court with this honorable member of parliament, you know, we find it so weird, and we feel say we don't just wake up and act when you don't have the substance. I get it, because say I know the court who the reliefs Abba say we waiting now who the Nipanaba court enti obey nano, but ushemwa utimu say this AG is not in court to determine any fact. He's just in court to just waste the time of somebody and try to get him in a certain whereby on man comfortability. All these things doesn't progress a nation, especially at the time this government is in a ditch that is calling for consensus, is calling for collaboration, but an AG has this kind of attitude, doing this kind of things. How do you call me to a table for consensus when your AG is acting like this? And we believe all these things, having read the Commonwealth Charter, we believe we have a better steps to take in that area for a redress. So it's an unfolding situation. The issues are clear in our petition. In some now, even do so, and yedi ye pen ACC paper so actual krate in some ni clear. Ye hwe nim say nia ewo mu krate mu e man ho kwan say asem na ekoso ye man mu ye bonju so no ye fo say ye di ba mu anim na mo so mo hwehwem na mo di perperio aba e man nyina ye kita o man no pepepe no. That is where the issues are now. So it's an unfolding situation. Let's leave it for now, and then as and when it is developing, we can be drinking the soup around the fufu.
All right. Dennis, the other issues here about Professor Tuguba, the answer maybe sir, but you refer to NDC letter to the Commonwealth Secretariat first.
No, minchia na minchia as they could do anything. Na me na masenso or congratulate you message ya. Eni mi niare ma Anthony. Eni ekwapem no 10 pp fo nyina me no kase. Omani abre de dia omo contest various position at the polling station.
Mafia reason.
I wish all of them the best. Wow, pe chairman, wow, pe polling station secretary. Me wish them the best. Na mini amema omane mensa bonsu a opreso be leader ekwapem no 10 pp as a chairman. Samo kudi oboate ye friend OG a opreso be leader MPP e ekwapem not as secretary. Enu Abema Julius Ekufujan ineta fena Medi and also Prince Obey organizer. Prince Wuku, very strong, vibrant young person, and also Prince Obey youth organizer. Ene Linda Dakwa, for the ya baby, and also pray. So person boa near MPP. I will keep him not as women organizer. Ene Enoka Trumps. I will pray as second vice chairman. You wish you now all the best. When you two months of a boy and people in there, the baby no wait to me their boy party no. Yanko po mama hoden enu content na muntu me fire. Na se NDC ni kasa. Na se ono agya kasa no bra ne mre nso ye. Ana se untwa no so a na se unsa sebo no. The more
you see this your habit.
Oh, why are you doing this?
Don't do that.
Why are you doing
Don't do what you want to do.
Okay,
speak to the issue.
Are you done?
I have a time. I spoke to the issue. It is about the substance. It's not about the time.
Say NDC ni kasa na se ne mranso.
Oh, say you know me.
Now one stop and force na nyina na so no agina. Na so we say asebo no afro no. Petition was a day on my tro mo so no kwakoma komodi. Ni ti ene ne nan pa ene sen. Na yo say enye anti-development ekuo bi a omo de ade bi e magana akoso no omo mpe na embre bi ompe so mo twe oman no eba na chi no mo de enum gu ase chichire oman na anka petition we pa eso mfaso woni say a sovereign state oman ye de ye ho a yɛn nyinaa agye atum de mmara ahyehyɛ constitution da wo nkyɛn yi yɛn nyinaa agye atum sɛ saa mmara wei ɛwɔ book yi mu yi ɛne yɛde kyekyere ɔman no mo deɛ bibia ɛwɔ ɔman no mu biara no sɛ kɔtia mo nko ade yɛ bɔne ɛkɔma ma na yɛ papa mo demonize executive etwantro akyekyere executive president Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo ɛne ne appointees ayɛ propaganda kɛse akyekyere asoɔ mo akyekyere mo sɛ go machi na mo twa mo ma dada Ghanafoɔ etwitwa ntroto mo so ɛne executive mo wie no akɔ parliament ntwadeɛ ɛne mmaa na mo bɔ parliament samone atwadeɛ ɛne mmaa ɛna mo bɔ parliament sɛ ye take decision ɛ wɔ parliament na kɔyɛ mama yɛyɛ ɛkɔti ama na mo to blows every single realtor esi wɔ parliament bia it was on an occasion NDC for fees decision bia nkwa amomo there was not a single day and there has never been a single day decision bia kɔtia MPP a obete so ya to atwade wɔ parliament ade ɛkye na ɔka kyɛm so mu gu ɔman no mu fie mu gu ɔman no mu ase wiase afa ne nyinaa ahwan a ɔmo so yo ɛsisi protect your democracy at all cost miwa sɛ yɛn na yɛwɔ MPP no sɛ yɛn so decision no kɔtia yɛn so sɛ yɛsɛ yɛ protect democracy na yɛn fa atwadeɛ ɛmfa protect democracy but these people consistently anytime there's something na ɔmo feel say anko amomo no ɛwɔ man yɛ nyinaa yɛagye atom no anko mo gye so ɔmo ida so ɔmo twesega ɔmo twendua ɔmo MPs need to be the blade sign ministers anim ɛwɔ parliament. This is the only time in the history of our democracy every day 1992 a yɛn say parliament obi ayi ne sa hwe obi asum ana obi ayi ne sɛ so ne yɔnko MP mu atwe ne sɛ ɔde ne ba fam NDC na ne na minim sɛ ɔmo yɛ saa no ma we nyinaa no na nkomo de beso wa minim sɛ nkomo de beso executive no so ɔmo de beso parliament na nko ɔmo gya ne saa anya hwe krampo no ankaka ba ku bi e bɛbɔ ho ban afedie mo yie fi ɔmampani Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne mpanimfo so mo de akɔ parliament mo say parliament eguye ni mo ase gu ɔman ni mo ase ato ntwadeɛ abomba e the blade assign ministers any MPs anim mu hwie ya afa mo san so atam say nim guase wei asan de abesi judiciary so ene me no ka sei mo de mo say mo adwi mu no mo de masem wo court na masem na wo court no mo adwi mu no court ni ruling no en favor mo enti so long as a court ni ruling no when ruling is any more expecting nti na just all of a sudden judge na enye na Dankwa Akufo-Addo na de ne court school na Akufo-Addo appointed no all of a sudden the entire judicial system no all of a sudden corrupt omo ye attention o say can say all of a sudden the National Democratic Congress say Ghana judiciary no omo ne omo ntumi ndi nsawonso biom just omo Commonwealth na real unim Ghana for do omo go prison enwume ya me no ka say omo ne court nya adwen unim Ghana for do a ene ye ewie ya court de omo akokoto afiase a omo ne court nya adwen omo chole ta Commonwealth NDC aban abreso omo amfa samaboati ankojira court na ya quality controls e dey na ehim for issue be me dey verify kakra NDC dey MPP pay for court okay quality grains was dey bibi okay kwojompie ni mu the number of years NDC aban twe omo court okay attach ya ogina court adakem na police ekoko yi no hwie court adakem si achew okay Canada Japan otwese kai na no de kasa e omo twe na bo so wo my we mu e de ko hye biye na dan mu loke no okay Awudu Mahama okay Emmanuel Kobi no mo ye daily guide reporters omo ji o mahome e we duase e wo biye na rage ye omo che omo de omo ko tu mu e ma omampani dada John Ejokum Kufo be ka che Jo Mahama say asa wo ya ma na bro so dodo na asa wo de more hama Kesseh yi na wo de kuntetia. Now I'll read to you what Omampeni John Mahama ekaye in response to Omampeni that John friend is saying John Ejokum Kufo. embra omampani kofo ekai say oh senia wo ye wo no meya asa wo tete nkrofo mo kasa na ekwan wo fa so ode Ghana fo ni bi efa so no wan hwe ni yi ana akwa te say bia wo pese ode hama kese ebu essay efe ne say eku ntetia nti to bo ase o say o the bulldozer April 2012 omampani John Dramani Mahama sama o kai o in response to John Ejekunko former president say bulldozer crowd on the beku ntetia so long as anadwi mu no sa nipa we air foment trouble no kwa de or the bulldozer beku omo the same John Dramani Mahama former president His Excellency the same National Democratic Congress the same NDC na omo train asabo bo ati mu ko gina court etwe ko jompie ni mu ko gina court etwe Kennedy Japan mu ko gina court so many MPP officials ko gina court no ene omo so mo throw letter akwa Commonwealth because opuni e wo court for what the state believes say eye krono ni sikedie e wo Cocoa board eno krampo na yawo yendi na semu nwie ye mu ne foye court nkai say bia we di for nti yemfa no kokotum mo say mo de so long as procedure ni mu madwi mu no procedure ni bi wo ho a enko ne se ne amusi penti all of a sudden mo chole ta Commonwealth na dey mo bokra we NDC for ho say since when ena Ghana ha ye mra no ye constitution no since when ena tro ye say se won court nya adwua na won o man nya adwua Commonwealth na betumi resolve yamaye na now ubisa no very important question ni say edien ena mo expect say Commonwealth be Commonwealth no ono or the recommendation Corona Anthony ka or the Brehwan is the Commonwealth bringing the recommendation to the same people now mo demonize you na I didn't NDC for you muguase for sa I don't know mugu o man anymore sa why are they bent on embarrassing the country and then a strategy and it's a strategy that the whole of Ghana should know say we mono a NDC for strategy to push away international investors and the global businessmen because you see when they do this then they create a sense of chaos which is non-existent in the country say the beya say investor bi wo hono person bi odini sika be bo man na odwen na dwan ntanta so it's a complete political strategy by the NDC yen create sense of urgency yen create sense of chaos yen create sense of instability mi wa ye yetu o man mu sisi Ghana ni o latte Ghana ni na wo krom enim say o man no bi boni bia nkoso o man we mu ye the same judicial now omubua Ghana ni fo na ye de court ye de jail no sa judicial now no ehwe opuni asem empo sa wo do wasem akose kit court na ne yadwin see you see high court wo le boa ufi high court na now anya appeals court na woko sa woni appeals court yadwin so to be Supreme Court empo Supreme Court no krampo no ukona sa woni omo nso yadwin a o to be call for review wo dey I say what do asem no call review asem no call Supreme Court na Supreme Court buti a no ebu ma o na ban so ne won yadwe o mo de call for review no we say adenti na ban de call review na the fundamental question is say review no illegal na review was Supreme Court na boni why is the NDC doing this to the people of Ghana just because of political power sa old school political strategy wey omo ye in 2008 na no mo say replay no but you see omo dey mobo omo dwi nyina say that's what 2008 yengu aban no fi yen say oman ni nyina yen chechire oman ni nyina ne yengu hu fi na edrum pempenso bi a Ghana fo nyina be ka say oh ho ya bremo mo kone en fa ndisi formra that is a complete falsehood. The people of Ghana have not forgotten about the damage that the NDC caused to this state. And wasi omode bra yan ahochi omode beto ye so amena donko omode ye ko shemu Ghana for rain fear said some time ago a few years ago na yenya kanea every 3 days I need to nyumegu ye tutu nyumem I need to near the torchlight in a operation e wo theaters e wo Ghana for rain fear say na yemba omo teacher training nursing training allowance say the mom NDC for twemu e ma iya for mba katena fie Ghana for men rain Ghana for rain fee Ghana for rain fee say a few years ago na afibia almost about 98,000 of Ghana former I name ka BC yabe omo be ketre fi omuntu mi ko secondary school Ghana for rain fear say a few years ago NDC for the freeze on employment but my way mu enti to be farm rant and maba e wo nwumem Ghana for rain fear na yaw say a few years ago na Ghana for year juma 1 year as I say about you am ka o see niska enti betu 3 months even though why juma for 12 months Ghana for rain fear say a few years ago not nurses ni teachers we school yen to me post omo e mo mu meye juma enti no your backlogs bebre just on my picketing our Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Health, and GES answer abaye to me home mobo. Ye ba abaye mu 2017. Ye be far nurse form of school from 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. Me no ka say all those backlogs have been cleared. And then ye ni sa ti bia no mu biom. Enti se etumi aboye ho modin ya ne pie fisa amena donko emu. Ni e ba bedu sa mpempen so yi a NDC should not think say some of old school tactics and strategies no would work again. Oma yetimi ye yet Ghana high. As the NDC fought your mindful from the answer yet your mindful from. Because the amateur was a petition me unity ehun nine and ti o ma say e mani ye. Say
enya wo no mo de bra unti.
No but say ye so me o man na omugu ne hu fi say me ko man no. Omugu me man hu fi. Enti me unity ehun nine say opuni wo court inti court no opuni wo no enu nti aban sisi na se aban sisi na opuni ko kada se mo court wo se mako court ba me pene so nti me de ko eti Commonwealth nye den Commonwealth yi opuni fi court yen ka se opuni ko fie na ko di usika na osisa ko ye na I just can't understand the head and tail of some petition here a bogus petition a petition just meant to disgrace the country and push away global investors. Almost strategy no. What is this?
Sifom na fe menko emra. Enya so we masiu, we kra masiu. The platform and was sugusu amuti mpacho mo mic ni sisu de mbeka bia manfo betiti mesremo a monye ikakrama me na de mbeka bia manfo ebeti yegusu I did the platform show ebremu yi mo a mo hwe e wo Facebook and me mamo the first opportunity say mo comment am de aba na medical akenkan medical akenkan san mako WhatsApp ene de keka ho no so Emmanuel Saka say I swear the NDC party will stay in opposition to thy kingdom come, never again on this earth. Haile Selassie, patriotic voices, go so. As a former coup d'etat case should not be treated as a mere case because, for the purpose, say, as that's what court in the all kind, main kind, and I do not do that with any form of disrespect to you, but it's just because now some no court in men can be beer etisa and fahom me paucho with a fachame. Why? Khadija Ishak or say NDC, briefly put, you are the enemies of this society. And as from Taifa says, Arodankwa is a fine human rights activist. He respects law and justice. NDC party and its leadership are attention seekers. NDC going to Commonwealth, they should rather go to UN. I expect the NDC party and former President John Dramani Mahama to respect the justices of our lands. No ANS from Taifa. Dr. Babazamu, Master Planner Junior Kintampo. Isn't it amazing to hear NDC communicators criticizing this government over economic mismanagement? The biggest challenge Ghana had faced since independence is during the days of John Dramani Mahama as our president. NDC should better start looking for alternatives because we'll retire JDM in 2024, inshallah. And not Dr. Babazamu and what they ever. Isaac Tinkrai said NDC mine we pa this my be Anthony Nukpenu. Okay, mame na menkan mo WhatsApp no so kakra na fe men sign enko Professor Raymond Atuguba na sem no eso no medical abo ho voice no e de akere mu nti mo amunim ne a ewo mu. Ghana is not a milking cow, so if there are witches, they must be hunted. It is admissible that corruption is as old as Adam. Nevertheless, accountability also started from the Garden of Eden. Everyone will be made to account for his stewardship. Ghana wasn't ripe for coup when we slept in Dumsop for over 6 years. Our beloved country then became the third most corrupt country in the world. We had Unemployed Graduate Association. The merchants of coup d'etat are crawling out of their cabs again because they are not in government. Samuel Bryan, Boabeng, Edwifia Wushi, and Obaye. For a country to develop, it is time we all came together to support development. Let's use this 65th independence to promote our motherland. We achim ayiribi and or see a friend or achim ayiribi na or achim bieni and or do we say a boy. So Anudin. Farouk Intema says 4 years of Doomso was Ghana's darkest time. Yet no one called for a coup d'etat because NPP was responsible in opposition, propagating its plans to salvage the situation when voted into power. Mr. Atuguba and his likes should know that if the military take over, democracy, yamu to simplicity. Farouk, sending that one from Tema. Okay. Blueprint mate yado asese wuti enfi esika doketan na yado ase papa OBS afonka say mu says nana, so the NDC want to tell us and tell the whole world that the mere fact that those in court are members of the NDC mean that they are being persecuted, and because they are NDC they should be allowed to go home even if they are found to have broken the law. Hey, NDC, what is this? OBS ahafo enka same ono so ne de eno no Tony.
Yeah.
Coup d'etat matters.
Before coup d'etat,
sure,
the fact still remains there. Assembly de akọ the Commonwealth Secretariat no. Aye amanfo bi ya okroma pa. So when you boni e no be the assembly koda baby, why are you in pain? So when you boni who son no be the nasem akoda baby say or per se yehwehwem ne yemfa bibintu yie mana, why are you in pain? Say oman papa musimu bua ye petition e ko common secretariat then NMA investors emba. This is the most reckless and useless government we've ever had. Reckless and useless. Until one munim say, and I'm on 20 million for the past 6 years, almost 6 years, has rendered this country useless. That is why you will be in pain. Say, petition will scare investors. Already, which investor is coming? Your government is crashed. On my way, I move for 5 years, 6 years, I crash. The petition never crashing. Parliament. You see, parliamentary democracy across the globe. And you need in Tokwa to be first in the history of parliamentary democracy. Say MPs, Ejojo Omuhu. But you see, when you are practicing something and reach a point, then you are from age 1 to 20 to 30. How are we? Were we not so energetic and doing things? In the parliament, 30 years, and I say, we are seeing the kind of things we are seeing now. It is trending the democracy. The impunity people have taken into the parliament house. And then you're striking out. We will not let MPP, out of your recklessness, dampen the spirit and the democracy we are practicing. And the Minion Dennis, what is happening is part of strengthening the structures of our governance. Because your president, Nana Akufo-Addo, is the most disgraceful president that we have.
Are you saying our president or his president?
His president.
Why?
Because he's his president.
No.
He has dampened the spirit of me. So
that statement is not admissible.
The president of Ghana.
Better.
The president of Ghana.
Fighting in parliament is strengthening democracy.
You don't get it. Because you won't get it.
I'm not the one listening.
The president of Ghana today, Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, say Bibi atochima egu edi ngwase oba emema yono na odi aba. ono because the record show say omampenyi bi enya sika sin no and omampenyi bi aso mbo busi asin no and so omampenyi wa cut down in history having done nothing to the progress of this nation, and today we are clutching to straws. That is where we are today. So and yet baby obetina and Ghana for forgetting doom so Ghanaians know said they went through doom so and somebody took a bold step and fixed it. They know that record is there. Nia oyo officer how no I get him today. Untimi ntwa ejumafo poka na oka nursing and teacher training allowance. How many months in arrears? So for me, I won't even go there because I buy na mu bunu mu crash but ahuma so ne dwe na mu ewo tibia mu mu.
I count 4 minutes.
4 minutes for the coup issue there. I'll deal with it in no time because enya asem. You see, let's take it time to decipher between intellectual submission and then hollow submission on the street. So we Gina baby keke no I hear unguarded statement and unreasonable statement from say obi a Gina platform so or making reference to a document. In the first place, the word coup d'etat no is it abominable in our law. So be making reference to coup d'etat. You find to contest more Kesseh. But the mere mention of coup d'etat, no, you see, hey, nipa na fumra. Is that what we are talking about? Nana Kesseh, can I ask you that question? Or I don't ask you question. You ask the questions. Don't be looking at me in that mysterious manner.
Maybe so. Kesseh bisa question. I will see boy.
Maybe that's a conversation. Now mischief. The diabolical way I would share me here. Because the same thing as I say. If I'm meeting us studio, me submission, no, mami nye me manum boku di taso. But
nobody has said that.
But to me,
who has said that?
Say me tie Professor Tuguba making reference to a document. I will be actual. Document in the say obi ni research Niyama Eddie Coup Saba, the ultimate successful, the ultimate successful. Ultimate say, Yempe coup d'etat or Yemaimu, but Anamonto ABCD ultimate ba, ne actually na no akosi boni so was coup eminent to Ghana. Is that what he said? Ubo voice in this is that what the man was saying? You can play the voice again. Because for me, I didn't get that understanding, I didn't get that meaning. And the twists and turns in this country is becoming one too many. And I've heard some of the people say, Professor Tuguba, SRT question come to me and passes our paper no, also want to take Professor Tuguba to the cleaners. That is the kind of country we are building today. So shameful. Say, a dean of faculty, our chemra, onimra, having practiced in Ghana for years, or yet a submission based on a research paper. Ghana. How can we be so ridiculous in this country? For me, Minya Mausi Vomao, Eddie Okok Troye on his Facebook wall. All of us have had opportunity. You are condemning.
Okay.
We do not want a coup.
Before
in this
we
country.
do not want
Yet
a coup, there is a statement. There's a statement. Let's not cut the things to suit our hips and caprices.
Former colleague at Harvard wrote his dissertation also on Ghana. He now teaches.
These are some of the things you talk, and I get so disappointed at
no,
you.
Because we do not want a coup. We do not want a coup.
Turn it. Oh, your submission. What's the member voice?
Yes.
Oba have more voice different biao. We are na me boy first.
And I may say before that statement, there was a statement.
And he said, also me more voice, ma. Me bonus and your voice. You can just say that and your voice win a me pay. Simple.
Then I'm a
which whims and caprices?
And we before Ben.
Debbie, no. Which whims and caprices?
Me say, let's not cut voices to our whims and caprices. So before
many voices,
that's what I'm saying. Say that statement was made based on an earlier statement. So Samu boss our statement now. What we are playing, it is not making the argument fair.
But your fair argument, Nyanko.
I get me.
Your fair argument, Nyanko.
Professor Atugba was speaking to a document, and that document, Nyoka Soka said, we do not want a coup. They say a honum and Abedani center of controversy. And are we doing good to the person, intellectual capacity, or what are we doing? What do we want to achieve just because we want to cut that statement? And not you alone. All over that is what we are speaking to. I didn't think, yes, sir. I have the full script. And I finally said,
so read what the
I will not read. You have it. Play it.
Kosi and Kosi. Koda and Koda.
Eh, would I hear Kosi and Kosi and Koda and Koda? And hear me?
Say anything.
Because say MBB. MBB.
Boy.
Enuti for me.
Si form.
Se Nyobako Jina Simpiesu. Aka sema. Nyanse bi enim. So onu die ba mu mayenfa susu die si hu ne yenka ne yen condemn. Esan say me and me wa ha na this your studio I've ever said several times say me I have an 82-year-old mother sitting down. I have children. And for that matter, me, I live through Coup. I live through PNDC. I get him. I will never call for a coup d'etat. I will never support a military intervention. I was born and bred in a barracks. I grew up, I schooled, I live within the army. I know behavior of armed forces men and women. And then Omaya refined. Because based on the practices I in India to Kwamono, and then Obiwo Chatade Crampo, Ohuninia say, or Eninia. Those days is like military barracks were detached from even human settlements. So they were in a jungle. And then most of our military barracks in Anu, Adani Krua, Omuya Den, Nipa, Ni Omunya, Nkitahundie. We shared the way we see military barracks was, say, a duty post into Wari Crampo, we knew Uma. That was the idea. So the man is like in the jungle. Once in a while we pay aba ekrum abe hunima nini yiri. But then all barracks have tend to be communities. Enti omu share uniform and them no omu need to say the where they used to be. So sankita hundie any again so no addition military adani an institutional and no woman you take higher courses, so people are learning more about the kind of global situation we find ourselves.
We slept in darkness for 4 years.
So today, have you cut me not to talk?
What are we hearing? Coup talking about kangaroo court. Please, Chachu, advise these guys. It is not good at all. Mami Adjuano, they will say, bye. So tell me
to get down. Why are you hanging me? No, this thing you do in this studio with me, I don't like it too. You see, I'm so calm because you are my brother. Stop it too. You.
Lande.
Unguarded statement and intellectual lecture. I see.
That's what Canada.
Let me land on it very well.
Okay.
There are vast difference. My anxiety, Vomawo, any Professor Atugba to be in the same basket. They are two different platforms, and Obia Kanu distinctively make me share Ninaso Obia or Vomawo. We've condemned him. Say ene unya asem or asmdbia only lawyer for they need to work out whatever it is. Professor Tuguba and an NDC for Nasumano or NDC on record. Professor Tuguba has never owned an NDC card. The fact so why Juma or bank semu under John Dramani Mahama doesn't mean or NDC he still remain a card bearing member of PNC. Nyoko yeno the capacity as a man of integrity who lectures law, who chew law and drink law. Here can NDC as a party Yanamonto Yeni is to prepare our party strong to win a political power come to 2024. We will never call on any man or woman to pick a barrel, to pick a gun, to overthrow constitution of this country. This constitution is our baby. We will guard it and guard it with all the might in us. Inti nyachumfo na wo krom ha omufo say omanya platform be di attempt and I call it for coup. We are a responsible political party. We know how to govern, and we shall take over the mantle of this country in 2024 and govern from this uselessness and recklessness of a government under Akufo-Addo.
Anthony Nukpenu and Anwesi Sesiano, the platform and Wasugusu Auti. Dennis, Brem.
No. We are Mehuasumu. Now, Dennis, media my na Mehuasumu, and our pesa, oh, Nania, Asumbo de Bempe, and coming to buy home and Passumbo. Nemo Mrs. Awaya Mehuasumu. NDC for Subano.
Sassing.
Cool, Nadia be a do coup bet me a bar. Say, Jaja, and Coup Beba, and NDC one of their cool, one of my friend, yes, so cool so. Ye NDC for the yes, so cool so. Naneo. O Jim media was a occasion na my dinner heno. A dear pan NDC for more position on all of these matters. The only time I gonna how better see Kaku asem any umbrella MPP war power NDC opposition. That is the only time I gonna how better see Kaku asem. And yemu bidie enye because the National Democratic Congress as a political party no omo foundation e ku omo foundation omo fapem pa de wo omo na e ku enti I am not surprised say omo kase nyina ye ku na real yan ye ku 2013 yan ye ku 2012 yan ye ku 2014 yan ma me ye ku 2015 2016 samre na Emma kwa was omu e won paso because can anywhere they were no yan ye ku samre na Ghana ha makaka mi hu se na mi kan biom ye ma etifi omu ntumi nya school mu kwan esa na se ya allowances ya de mo ye fi yan ye ku samre na enhihye ya akekere ye e wo mai we mu a ye home kura ye home no yan ye ku na ene Ghana ha ene ne yeba be ku ene ye maso ya roma fam bag abo mo chi no mo ko school free no mo kwa ade aba awofo anwin sa ade chi a ehe ne ekokọ face ke free no ene ne yeba be ku ena me no ka sei kwahwe nooks for Twitter handle oma tweet ya omo da aban ase say teacher for mo wie school ni training so mo ti fe nyina aban ya form e post yo mo say ne dua me no ka sei ene oma be ku ena nurse for nyina yo mo adwuma na eba be ku ana ena factories mako over 260 e cost wo my way mu over 100 ye bia no Ghana for ye adwuma wo mu no ene na eba be ku ana ena ye car kwai over 4,000 kilometers I been see wa ben bia mu first 5 years no ene na eba be ku ana ene eba be ku na moma mbreso yan yeku o man pani nana dan ko ekufa do bebi watam man ye free o ma e na ye ndis for say ye fie ho nana
I'll tell Nukpenu that if we lived in jungle we like it like that. Some people must live in a jungle anyway to protect the rest. A soldier friend who says good evening to Anthony Nukpenu.
Did he listen to me well?
Utie say utie Ghana for commentary on some of these things are NDC for the canal. You clearly know say Ghana 4 are beginning to see NDC like the confident tricksters that they are. Confident tricksters no na ni da ho obu kwase pa about the ni de ne vem ne takashi e no do bu kwase a. Omadwi nyina ne say e koron be fa so obeba power ne say omo be keka san se we aka frafra funtu mu na Ghana 4 are confused. But it's not going to work now. Ghanaians are focused. You need the ho, you need ate. Where year 2009, it has been over how many years? It's been over since 2009. Over how many years?
Yeah.
2009 to
I think 13.
Over 13 years. You near bio. 2008, what baby na mukra your friend is saying paper. And I'm your friend is saying bank account fake one. Go so I'm church Ghana for say Monto Abanti MPP are buying. Oh my say. It's been over 13 to 14 years. the people of Ghana are wiser. They are smarter. Na Coup krano, if I saw was one any political party ben aye Coup or my way musi NDC. Omu to be the first Brian Kenuni. Oma ye me nuclear yeba 92. Sam ye no we no. E so for so de ben nyaye. Na ne omu ye, omu twa, omu die ni atwa ma ha mu empire. Ma ha mu ye bio ha mu waka kwan ho a na ye de ma horse ye friend say ponko dua na ye de twa ma ha mu mpire e wo man we mu
koboko
onam na say wo fie bio na ya giba ko firi nsem wo cast bi na ya giba firi nsem wo awadwuma na mo aba beji NDC aban na mo agi firi nsem matete Ghana for in the name of Coup before in this country. There are certain people who are busia for ejija atete apansam because of Coup. More NDC for Coup amoye. There are people in this country busia for bi akwakoka wa manani omuntumi mba on my way because of Coup. More NDC for moye. Or in the name of economic recovery. Yeah, the economic independence eba. Yeah, the economic recovery baba. Or many more ye ding. Eti ye the soldier for ba betu aban no. Na ye be dimo so. Ye be dimo so ye de ahoto beba. Sa ahoto na nie. Mo ye Coups mienu ahoto be na mo de brain. In fact, Coups na mo ye na mo se mo de ahoto be rather what you came to do is to collapse the state. NDC are buying and the only political party almost 300 state-owned enterprises, 300 state-owned companies. The National Democratic Congress under the diversity implementation there. NDC are buying. They sold every single industrial asset of this country.
And I was hearing.
Baba kwa ya tombo. Baba mi. Yay, and another drunk Kufado. Ye be 260 industrial factories. They collapsed 300 state-owned enterprises. Facts. Under Diversity Implementation Act, the NDC. And they came under the guise of a coup. Or in the name of that some almost a hunchaba. Into the coup beba, the coup bar, the hunter brain, and they are hunter in ye. I want to edu 92 near hunter. You do 2000 no the hunter brain. Almost I met that Ghana for 2008 on mobile, no. After the time, 2016, no the hunter brain. So more could be ya over there, Omunko Ukraine and now Russia. No more coca so more and what they are to me the con. Omum send their 2-2. Omunko Ukraine, Russia. No more coca, no more after Ukraine, Matty says your mama free visa. Omate international DND army DND unity be. They should go and join them and fight. But the people of Ghana want peace. The people of Ghana do not want our democracy to be enforced through violence. And to catch Anthony say, Sound Tokono Parliament, you know, say that is their way of protecting democracy, you know, and you're shameful, and you're disgusting.
If you continue the impunity in Parliament, we shall deal with you in Parliament.
And we say,
if you have any impunity in Parliament, you'll be dealt with. Sir,
in 2022, your way of dealing with so-called impunity in a democracy is to go and slash your fellow MPs in their faces. And the people of Ghana are listening to you.
If you fool foolishness, we meet you.
So the people of Ghana are listening to the NDC. This is the NDC telling the people of Ghana, say, they are way of enforcing the democracy now. We are running it by the law, no? Is to use violence. He said it on air. And he says it with so much glory.
I'm not shy.
He's not shy.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Parliament is for decency
and when you speak like this and you go to the polls and you lose and then you come and sit down and say you can,
when you send your hooligans to come and fool in Parliament, they'll be dealt with.
Can you be decorous? Tony, can you be decorous?
I'm decorous.
No, you are not. You are not. You are not.
But when someone is speaking and referring to
no, but you cannot use those words you are using. Unim say you cannot use those words here. Tony.
So tell Dennis to come clear.
Dennis and car
it's here for they can choose to use violence to enforce whatever democracy they want to enforce. We also have laws. We use the laws to deal with them. They can use violence. Or say it's not shy. They use violence. They should use violence. We also use the laws to deal with them. They can use violence as much as they want. We also use the laws to deal with them as much as they want. And they can write letters to the Hague. We can't be bothered. So long as we are working within the framework of the laws, That is what we'll do. They can go to the Hague, they can go to the ICC, they can go to NATO, they can go to wherever they want to go. So long as they bring violence to disturb the peace and security of the people of this country, we'll use the laws to deal with them.
But politicians. Mo, ya the power shamonsa. Omani bi bia kutamo. Omani bi bia kutamo. Yen citizens there. Baby, I want to know. He made the or the way on an yen team. Ah, God. Yen citizens na ye tia taxes. Any nema de mamona mode yen team yen carry. Yen carry.
We should call a spade a spade.
Me ba nya botre.
No, yen call a spade a spade. You see, ade eke nei. Eto de bia no one ha na NDC for office diagro. It's a very serious matter for a political party that claims that they want to lead a country to be preaching violence and saying their only form of enforcing democracy is to through violence, slashing on the faces of the members of parliament. Is a very serious matter. And it's something that everybody must condemn. So who did diagro? Now so we are say la. They may continue. They started with the executive. Almost as so mugu na danko kufa do mfi. Ye kayanu tumu sa no me call parliament. And I'm call parliament. I'm call parliament no so almost as say kakra no me call violence. Parliament this is the only time in the history of Ghanaian parliament obi to me the blade trapped MPB anymore on my way. This is the only time see that. There is no parliamentary democracy in this country ya. Obi atam nsa e parliament they show obi assume parliament. This is the only time.
There ya hwe ahin assume parliament. Ahin some say
ahin. When we off record make parliament say the omo ye. Now the same your friend say omo mukrofo. And yet the NDC executive sit on air and say I am not shy. I want to also put it on record.
Don't bring your impunity to parliament.
We will use laws to deal with their violence.
Deal with you.
And when we deal with their violence,
in accordance with our might.
When we deal with their violence, they shouldn't rush to write to Commonwealth. They should write to NATO and I say, hey, because these NDC people, one, they are confident in their tricks, and they are a group of people.
Captain Budukum
Prince to don't mama. I am the movie scene. Someone Wamunti, Namon from Margin. Wamunti, Namon from Margin. What Kaya, on say, I think 2016 there about Name catch them say. It's a politician begin when him said to Abama, and I mean, be so Bisan said, Diana will obey. Bisa any pan. Say, Dian, and I'm the 2 minutes on Sa or the bay. Or cannot convince what to mano. And convince you Sakachen Sonko. Next time, no aba. Me de me catch them on say yen ye kono as I say yen on my mano ye ma ye nitie because politicians omo need to me yen ye to me ne de aba omo bosia someone yen hwe so mfie nan mfie nan so mbubu akonta nkire yen so on sa de na be hunhuna yen ya me say en can be da say me to aba ma party we no ba e wadi me hwa mo ndime nto aba da bi nyesa tutia no what you say so to aba ma na na ya kese say omra no ship house no ship no sistro na nyefe ometo current ship na mba mvie na mentimi anto current ship na next time me baby na me say afi de toma me na metimi aya na wato atia me sa na he no enkasa wonto da o kasa wonto a ho wo mo na e beto no o mbesa kwakoto no mayi o mu nua baako no aba be di wo na wo so wani atenti wonto no so gre ho Isaac Godro, Patricia Sefa Fisher, Prince Balfour Asamoah, Samuel Apia, Elizabeth Ejin, woman na sheshe na medi ho chiame. Frame na ya Kesseh. Obetumi aframe the cardinal. Me enemy di show yi ho chiame. Nyame ya adma juada de yentumi emma. Nyame ya adma juada yemma because munim say juada ebe ya fofida kwesi ada na Ghana nya fa ho die fia kwesi kokonsem emfia duosia num 65 years eni. 65 years eni. Na Sunday also birthday. Okay, it Samuel appears Sunday a birthday. I mean, advance one we wish you. Sunday for me fa by an bachelor me. Pese me huno. Fa na bra na me hwe nanim. Ra Samuel appear do we see na on pese odo baba ma hu anim no. Utie show ya. Obafia ka kire ne say me pese me hu. Nti on fa amra na me hu anim. Na de obia me ne monka. What I say? Same into advance one. Happy advance happy birthday and yede Emma wo. ene Emmanuel Kesseh so birthday yima minim se sabe de wapon sorry enti kona koda o chana be school enti also so yama happy birthday Prince Bafo Asamoah konongu Jack Chan also so wasem baba chiri tinyame ya adoma da se ne mo beti enka e the platform dwumadi so me da wase se onya da giti e bre na anso kra be fa ne sa next time eja show ye fe no kajebi oh ti e kan na next time ya ba beto aso radio asumdwe